1 week out from the Arnold Classic. Stay tuned for my picks and predictions for Classic Physique. What's good, Classic fam? My name's Brant with CPC Bodybuilding. You can catch me over on Instagram at CPC Bodybuilding. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video for the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Classic Physique updates and more Arnold coverage coming your way this upcoming week. We've got one of the best Arnold Classic Physique lineups of all time. I would argue the best. We have 11 Olympians and the best natural bodybuilder in the world in this lineup, 12 of the world's best. These are the competitors for this year's Arnold Classic. First up, we have Ramon Dino out of Brazil. He is the 2023 Arnold Classic champion in Classic Physique, also a two-time Mr. Olympia Classic Physique runner-up, and the heir apparent to Chris Bumstead's throne in Classic Physique. He brings incredible muscularity, density, condition, just absolute nasty, grainy, hard muscle, and I think Ramon has to be the favorite in this show. One thing that needs to be said about Ramon is he makes crazy improvements every single year. From the Arnold Classic in 2023 to the Olympia in 2023, Ramon's lats came up so much, which was his biggest weak point. But I think he is very, very close to getting that truly proportionate Classic Physique. Probably the biggest challenger, arguably, to Ramon, that is Urs the Miracle Bear Kalaczynski out of Germany. Urs brings some of the best posing in the entire Classic division. Urs has great condition, structure, classic lines, and he knows exactly what to do on stage. He's a great showman. He won last year's Best Poser, but Urs has his work cut out for him. He's lost to Ramon 4 consecutive times, and I thought Brion was very close to beating Urs at the Olympia. So that battle will be very interesting. I think Urs has a lot to prove at this show, given that he has really solidified himself in 3rd place and hasn't really battled for a 2nd place spot with Ramon in recent showings. So I think this is a very pivotal show for Urs to prove himself. Next up, we have 2-time Mr. Olympia Classic Physique champion and 2018 Arnold Classic champion, Brion the Black Swan Ansley. Brion's calling card is his muscle maturity, his detail, his complete physique. Brion has the best back in all of Classic Physique. He is one of, if not the most conditioned guy in the entire division. Brion very well could compete for a 2nd place spot with Urs at this show. I see Brion bringing his all-time best to the Arnold Classic this year. Next up, one of the fastest rising stars in the entire division, that is the Saharan Eagle, Michael Daboul out of Syria. Michael placed 6th at this past year's Classic Olympia. He won the Austria Pro to qualify for the 2024 Olympia, so we'll already see him there. He's won 2 Arnold Classic UKs and definitely has to be in that discussion for a top spot at this show. He's the condition king of Classic, a very balanced and proportionate physique, so watch out for Michael at this show. Next, we have the Dutch Oak, Wesley Vissers. He's a fan favorite for good reason. Wesley has that charisma about him that Arnold had back in his day. He has a very golden era-esque Classic physique. Just that great upper body, the classic lines. I do think Wesley is vulnerable in one pose, that is the back double bicep, particularly in the glutes and the hamstrings. Wesley will really need to shine in other poses in order to get a top 4 spot here. I see Wesley probably in that first call out, but I don't know if he can beat Michael Daboul. It's going to be an interesting battle, that is for sure. Next, we have my 2023 Rookie of the Year, that is Antoine Loth, aka the Grumpy Grizzly out of Spain. Antoine went from amateur to 2-time Olympia qualified in just a matter of months last year. He won 2 shows to qualify for the 2023 and then the 2024 Classic Olympia. He brings nasty, gnarly, grainy condition and has great structure. He can battle with a lot of these bigger guys too. So Antoine is definitely one of those guys to be considered for a top 8 spot at the Arnold Classic. Perhaps the most seasoned veteran outside of Brion Ansley is Courage Opara. Courage has 6 pro wins. He won last year's San Antonio Pro and brought his all-time best to that show. His hurdle was always condition. He has great shape, he has great structure, and beautiful muscle bellies. He has tons of mass. He's one of those guys who is a lot lighter than he looks. He packs lots of muscle onto his frame. And I think, given that he's working with a new coach, Andrew Vu, they've really figured out the condition game. Courage hasn't provided us with any updates at all this prep. So he's a wild card. I think Courage could place as high as 4th in this lineup. So Courage is definitely someone to watch at the Arnold Classic, where he has competed many times. Next up is the fastest rising star in Classic. That is Damian Patrick. He went from a typical first call out type of guy to winning 2 pro shows in 2023 after switching coaches. They've really figured out the formula. So Damian won the Mid-USA Pro, then went to the 2023 Olympia, and he also won the Ultimate Warriors Pro, which already qualified him for the 2024 Classic Olympia. Damian has some of the best shots in all of Classic Physique from the front. He's one of those guys who can compare structurally to anyone. The real question is, will his glutes and his hamstrings be dialed in to compare with some of these guys who are known to bring nasty condition, like Michael DeBoule, Breon, Urs, and Hamon? So we will see, but I think Damian Patrick has tons of upside and very well could be in the first call out at this show. Perhaps one of the most underrated guys in Classic is Eric Brown Jr., aka The Bull. So Eric won his very first pro show last year, the Fit World Pro, and went to the Olympia as well. Eric is one of the most conditioned guys in Classic. His back is crazy. He has so much detail in the back double bicep and has very underrated shape in my opinion. He's one of those guys that will bring his absolute best at this show and could knock some guys out if they come in off. Next is Ireland's best Classic Physique pro, one of the best in Europe. That is Darren Farrell. Darren was a 2022 Classic Olympian, winning the 2021 San Antonio Pro. He's got muscle to compare with any of these guys. The real question will be, can his shape stand up when compared in some of these shots, especially from the side? I think the side chest is probably the one pose where he is vulnerable with some of these guys who are a bit more shapely in that specific pose. But Darren will probably bring his all-time best. He's definitely going to be peeled. He's definitely going to be muscular. Next, Emanuele Rigotti out of Italy. He's a 2022 Olympian. He had a bit of a disappointing 2023 season, plagued by injuries as well as some issues hitting his peak. He's very capable of placing well in this show if he nails his peak and all goes correctly. It seems as if his prep has gone very well this year, so I'll be intrigued to see what Emanuele brings. As an Olympian and a pro show winner, I do expect to see an all-time best from Emanuele at the Arnold Classic. And finally, we have the best natural bodybuilder alive right now, last year's Arnold Amateur Champion. That is Kendall Richmond, aka the Natural Disaster. Kendall, though a natural bodybuilder, can hold his own in this lineup. He placed in the top 10 in his pro debut at the Pittsburgh Pro last year. I was there to see it, and I was amazed at how big Kendall looked next to some of these enhanced bodybuilders. Intuition typically tells you that natural guys will not match up size-wise with enhanced guys. But Kendall is the one exception to that rule. Kendall brings great size. He has great muscle insertions as well. A very classic physique. The ultimate question will be, can he really stack up in terms of the detail and the hardness that the other enhanced guys might bring? So that's the entire lineup for this year's Arnold Classic Physique division. So knowing the way that Steve Weinberger typically judges shows, this is what I expect to happen. We will have a first call out with 6 guys, a second call out with 6 guys, as we have 12 guys in the entire lineup. We'll have a call out 1B, which is going to be places 4 through 7, maybe 4 through 8. And then we'll have a final call out, a call out 1A with the top 2 or the top 3. So these are the 6 guys that I have in my first call out. Hamon Dino, Breon Ansley, Urs Kaliczynski, Michael DeBoule, Wesley Vissers, and Courage Opara. In the second call out, these are my 6 guys. Antoine Loth, Damian Patrick, Kendall Richmond, Emmanuel Rigotti, Darren Farrell, and Eric Brown Jr. Now, in that call out 1B, I predict we'll see some shuffling around and have the 4 through tentatively 7 placings right there. So who I think that is, I think we see Michael DeBoule, Wesley Vissers, Courage Opara, and Damian Patrick perhaps. I think if Damian comes in condition, he will compare very well to a lot of these top guys. And finally, in that top call out, that call out 1A, I think we'll see something different this year. We saw a Hamon and Urs call out, just those 2 last year. I think we'll get Breon in there this year. Breon's going to bring his all-time best, and I think is very, very close to pushing Urs. So I think in the top call out, the final 3, it's going to be Hamon Dino, Urs Kaliczynski, and Breon Ansley. Now, what I predict for that top 3, I think it's going to be really close, but I know what the judges prefer, and they typically go more for Urs's physique over Breon. I personally prefer Breon's physique. I think he's more complete than Urs, but I think they have an idea of what the classic criteria are in their head, and Urs matches that a little bit more closely than perhaps Breon does. I may not agree with it, but that's reality. So I think we have Breon place in 3rd, Urs in 2nd, and Hamon Dino will repeat as the Arnold Classic champion this year. I don't think anybody can stack up with Hamon's detail, condition, and especially the muscularity. He just has this pop to his muscle that a lot of guys do not have. So I see a runaway victory here for Hamon Dino out of Brazil. And those are my predictions for the 2024 Arnold Classic. If you guys want to watch this show, I will be live streaming it for absolute free on my YouTube here. You can catch the prejudging at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, March 1st. Finals will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, again on March 1st. So the entire show is Friday. I'll be live streaming here at 12:30 Eastern Time and 7 Eastern Time. So catch it here with me. If you guys want to watch the amateur coverage, I will be covering that on my Instagram all day on Thursday. So the day before the pro show is the amateur show. I'll be covering that on my Instagram. Again, if you guys want to catch all the latest classic updates, make sure you follow me here on Instagram. The handle is CPC Bodybuilding. And then if you also enjoy this video, make sure you boost that algorithm, like it, comment, and share with your buddies. Also subscribe to the channel. I've got a crazy year lined up for you guys in classic physique. Predictions, picks, interviews, highlights, you name it, it's going to be here on CPC Bodybuilding, the best channel in men's classic physique. And if you guys are attending the show in person, I will be there. You can find me at the expo. So that's going to do it today for the video. My name's Brant, signing out for CPC Bodybuilding. Keep it classic, guys. See you later.